আরে বা হচ্ছে আমি খেলা বাদ খেলা দেও বা দাও খেলা দেও হ্যাঁ এনে বাহন দেবো
what they did yesterday. I thought Zimbabwe bowlers was outstanding. You spoke about those 11 wickets. 8 wickets in the second session, only 1 wicket in the third session, 2 in the first. When Zimbabwe came to bat, they looked solid. I thought the pitch started to play well in the last session, especially. But there's enough juice if you look down at the surface, especially even on the second day, first session. There's still a lot of grass covering. I know it's going to dry out once the day progresses and you go to the third day and the fourth day. But I still feel there's a lot to offer from the surface. What is important from Bangladesh perspective is that the bowlers need to bowl a little better in terms of line and length. I thought they were all over the place. One other thing which caught my eye, spin can take a little bit of advantage out of this. Walking in later in the day. The weather is quite good, slightly warmer than yesterday, but as the day passes by, of course, being winters, the temperatures do drop. Discussions are important. Shanto and the senior men in their squad must have had a chat over what went wrong yesterday and what can they do better today in order to bring themselves back into the game. We know in test match cricket, when you don't have a very good first innings total, you are playing catching up on the game. So they have to make sure that they do not allow Zimbabwe with a very healthy lead, and when they come around to bat second, they have things sorted out. Rashid Riaz and Alauddin Palekar, the on-field umpires, they've had a good first day, and now all is set. We'll have Innocent Kaya along with Brendan Taylor coming out. Langton Rasir, the TV umpire, David Gilbert, the match referee. Good morning to all of them. And good morning to Ed Rainsford, who is alongside me. Ed, this first hour will test Kaya and Taylor. If they can pass this through, Zimbabwe is looking to have a good lead.
Morning, Sekunda. Morning, everybody. Yeah, spot on. I think this first 30 minutes to an hour is going to be quite challenging because you expect this group of players right now on your screen to have had a conversation and tough conversations about how they can improve with the ball today. And so you expect Bangladesh on day number 2, as they do their international players, to improve on what they didn't quite do well yesterday. And so for these 2 openers from Zimbabwe, they're going to have to be extremely watchful, resolute, and as you say, if they're able to weather that storm, they can definitely start building an important lead.
Well, at the moment, Zimbabwe have done very well to have that trail reduced to just 4 runs, which means that they have the full day available to pile runs on. It was all seamers for Zimbabwe who put those 10 wickets, but we did see Taijul Islam in operation yesterday quite early. And he will have a say later on as the days progress into this test match. For Zimbabwe and their squad, they must have had a good night's sleep. They know that they've done well. It's all about being consistent. It's all about carrying on from where you left off, and this Innocent Kaya will be looking to do that. He's surpassed his career best in Test match cricket, which was 67 runs. And now he's got himself into the 70s, and one should, as a test opener, look to multiply and have those small landmarks, get to the 80s, and then so on, get to the three figures, and the hunger shouldn't die. Because he's very important for the side. He's well set, he's got his eye in, and he'll be looking to see off this first half an hour and then make sure that he gets Zimbabwe into a strong position. As far as Brendan is concerned, he's also played a very important role. He's understood what's required of him in this partnership. May not have seen him scoring as quick as Kahia, but that was required. He anchored one end and made sure that they don't lose more than one. Khalid will be starting the proceedings. He's the one who's got that lone wicket. He'll be bowling from our end where we are. It's right arm over. Day 2 action. Kahia on strike. Good shout, but there are 2 sounds.
Bringing the stumps into play straight away. And it's a shot that he played pretty well yesterday, Innocent Kahia. It's also a shot that can get you into a little bit of trouble. Just look at how he maybe just closes the face and goes across it.
That is one thing they need to be very careful of. Cannot go the leg stump line. This first half an hour, as it's important for Kahia and Taylor, it's important for Bangladesh. They need to cash it out.
Yeah, we saw this early on by the Zimbabwean bowlers where they got a little bit too straight, and with the excess movement off the surface and through the air, it just carries on down the leg side. And so even the LBW becomes an non-entity for Bangladesh. So I think for them, they need to just start it maybe just on 4th stump and hope it finishes on the stumps.
They've done some homework about Kahia now. You saw him playing quite a few shots square of the wicket, behind the square on the offside, which is why they've got 2 slips and a little wide, sort of 4th slip there. Because that's the region a lot of runs have been scored by Kahia. He likes to be on that back foot, he's pretty strong on that. And he's been cashing out on that region. So he's trying, Shanto, to plug that. So he's just got that 4th slip, a little spaced out from the rest of the guys. And also a deep point to plug that boundary, because the scoring rate was pretty heavy last evening. Shanto and his men couldn't stop Zimbabwe scoring less than 4.5. That was a very good pace, which helped them get rid of that first innings, almost first innings lead. Lower than he expected.
So that is a first little bit of movement off maybe an indentation, a little bit of bruising, which I spoke about at the pitch report, because this does come back sharply. There you go. And so for a batter, you're just going to put that behind you. For a bowler, go again at that particular length. Because as much as that one came back, if it hits the other side of it, then it goes away and maybe finds the outside edge.
Or the way back.
Barring the one that went down the leg side, he has made him play almost every delivery. We'll just go a little bit of attention to maybe the field set, which I felt that Bangladesh has allowed Zimbabwe to rotate strike. I'm not really pleased with that feedback point. Because the strength of it, right? Yes, as much as you'll score through that rotation, but as a bowler, you've got to give yourself the best opportunity to line up one particular batter for a long period of time.
End of the first over of the day's play, 136 for 1.
Just a little correction. It's 137 for one, which means Kai always keep strike. We'll be having a Hassan Mahmood in operation. Score 10 overs, none for 46. Had a good outing with Ken. Some wickets, conditions supported him, suited him.
It's good off the full shot, picked the length up pretty quickly. The feature here is that play all around the ground. No one there getting across the stumps. That's the shot of the day. And not afraid to get onto the front foot through the offside. And then with the cut as well. So he played with good control and good courage, and also the confidence of playing those particular shots on this type of surface.
Yeah, those two pull shots in front of the square. Just to give you two indications. One, there's not much pace being offered by Khalid. And two, as you mentioned, that he's reading the length very quickly to be able to play it in front. And he's done well for himself. Within his limitations, within his zone, he's not tried to outsmart the opposition. He's not tried to be a bully after scoring a 50. He's just kept himself very focused in terms of this innings and what's required of him. And now he doesn't like your bat anymore.
No. He actually came across to me this morning and he said it's a good one. Oh.
I guess that's the end of it. Just looking at that splice.
I gave him two, so I think the other one will come out.
Is that as good as the one in his head?
No.
Well, you just killed all the excitement. 3 runs behind Zimbabwe at this stage. Well, you'll be the best person to tell me which one's yours.
Well, it's none of those. He's got a new sponsor.
I can't remember if I've seen a batter having different brands in his kit bag.
MS Dhoni used to change it after 25 overs in the World Cup, I think.
Yeah, but different brands.
Yeah, I think he started off with SS and then changed to SG. Someone said Reebok. I think he moved on from Reebok for a while. Yeah, it's not as good as the one I gave you. You have to do some running repairs in a sense.
You're talking about bats, and it's always been something with the batters, top order batters, who find it as an extension of their arms. They're very possessive about their bats, and once they change them, it just plays in the back of their mind. It just doesn't feel right. It just doesn't feel the same.
saw Kai fixing the grip, and he just get an idea that he's randomly picked one out of the lot.
Mr. 360, I think that bat is. I think that's AB de Villiers' new brand. AB de Villiers has started creating an own brand of cricket bats made out of Marut, India. Yeah, you're right, Skanda. It's almost part of the family, your cricket equipment, just like if you're a golfer, your clubs and how you feel and how comfortable you feel with those particular assets of your sporting discipline. But for runners as well, they like a certain pair of running shoes. More cushioning, lighter.
End of the over, 138 for one. Massacre just after the lunch break yesterday. Coming back to the Furlan Shanto as about it at deep point, you were not very impressed with the idea. He's there because lots of runs have been scored by Kai in that region, and just gives you a hint what the fielding captain is thinking. The wickets are not easy to come by, so he's looking to stem the run flow, which has been quite healthy. But at least in the first half an hour, 1 hour, you've got to be a little more attacking instead of looking to save the boundary.
Yeah, I totally agree, especially if you're going to bowl that type of line and length, which he did throughout that first over. 50 partnership of 119 deliveries. And so with that run rate, so I think it was sitting at about 4.5, nearly 5 yesterday. And it slowed down, so they've had to grind it out with the adjustments that Bangladesh have had to make with the ball. They want to double that. And even with that particular delivery, most batters be looking to leave that. And so already as a skipper, you can see that Khalid's looking to bowl around that off-stump, fourth stump region. So bring that fielder in from backward point and actually ask the batter to go with the flat-batted shot through the offside with the variable bounce and the indentations that are there already. I think it's a simple, basic plan that will build on pressure and maybe reward.
And also, in the first half an hour, 1 hour, the batters will be more cautious. They'll not be looking to smash boundaries out there. That's the man at T5. Hassan Mahmood is quite wide.
another over, 139 for 1. That's all the action lined up for you on this tour. With this one-off test, 3 ODIs and 3 T20s to follow.
How's about this news coming out of the United Kingdom? Ben Stokes, who I think is the absolute legend of the game for England and the game in general, walks away from all 3 formats, retires from international cricket. I think that's a massive loss for the game. His box office, isn't it?
Yeah, it is for world cricket. I mean, he's a character. He's a leader, and of course, the way he's led the England side, the new era, the baseball formula, everything. I don't know if it comes as a surprise that he suddenly announced retirement from all formats. But when a player says, and you know this more than me, he feels within that he's done. I think he mentioned not in exactly these words, doesn't find that fight in him anymore. So it's very obvious that the player says, okay, now I'm not going to push myself any further. It's the right time to hang the boots.
You know why I bring that up, Skanda, is that this sport that we love so dearly and we talk about, these players that give us so much entertainment, and we sit up here and sometimes we criticize them and sometimes we praise them. I think the mental aspect of the game can eat at you at some stage. I mean, that Ashes lost, and I also believe, you know, the media as well in the UK can be very hard. And I also bring this up because of a player like a Babar Azam, who surely is not, you know, superhuman in his own right, but can also lose form, can also not win you every game. And so the weight of all of that sometimes is enormous. And it's a conversation that even now, as we wake up this morning, how much would be discussed about how Bangladesh bowled and the pressures of meeting those types of standards. Mental health is such an important thing, and for me, it came as a huge. I thought everything had been brushed under the carpet, and that he would come out and maybe not captain, but still play.
I'm totally with you. I mean, it could be several factors. Some may never come out in the open. The player only knows how he's feeling. The media pressure, of course, is there. Modern day cricket is watched and followed by not just fans, but media around the world. In subcontinent, they can take you to the cleanest if you lose the game. And actually does play in the back of your mind all the time, even when you're not on the field. Sometimes you start doubting yourself. But then that's the difference between world-class players and just a regular player. If you can handle all those pressures. That's a good shot. Full face of the bat. Just a mere push through the line. First boundary of the day. And also wraps up the over. 143 for 1, and Zimbabwe are now in lead. There's a catch. There's a catch. There's the first one of the day. Khalid strikes again. It's Brendan Taylor who's been dismissed. He was in not a very good position trying to defend that. Takes the shoulder of the bat.
I think this is a really good delivery. I don't think there's much more he could have done about this because it angles in. I don't think there's any issues with the front foot. But just have a look at this, just angle in and then slightly just straighten. And so he induces him into playing that particular delivery and finds the outside edge. It's a breakthrough. And it's a well-rewarded breakthrough for Bangladesh. Taylor has to go for 17, 143 for 2.
Brian Bennett walks out at number 4 after the dismissal of Brendan Taylor. The first wicket of the day for Bangladesh.
Yeah, fabulous player he is. That 139 against England and Nottingham. But a change of position for him here. Sakanda, he's now batting at number 4, where he generally opens the batting for Zimbabwe. So a new role for him.
Good boy, good.
Yeah, I'm totally with you regarding that ball. I mean, not much anyone can do about it. The way it's just moved away slightly enough to just brush that outer part of the bat brilliantly. Just almost square. This nice statement of yours on the show is one delivery with your name on it. Yeah, just quickly wrapping up our discussion before that wicket fell on the sudden retirement from Ben Stokes. You talk about what he's offered to the game. 7,000 plus runs and 250 plus wickets in test matches. Only 2 men have done that in world cricket, Jock Gallis and Ben Stokes. And I know where you're coming from. You just feel there's a lot more cricket in him. Well, I felt that way about AB de Villiers. Just as you say, 35 years of age. That's the shot for which this man has been placed in the deep. And I'm surprised that he hasn't come in when Bennett has been on strike.
Yeah, it just allows him a single, get one out somewhere near the middle of the bat and get a feel for the ball, and you're up and running. Whatever nerves he would have had or concerns he would have had at batting at number 4, that just calms things down to some degree. Yeah, it's in an excellent spell here. Really is. From the golf course end, he's fighting and he's asked a few questions. Also a good captaincy decision to go with Khalid, because he ended the day pretty well with the ball yesterday, and then you say to you next morning, well, you've got to carry on, or you will start things off because you look like you're in good control. So, yeah, to the captaincy, player management, situational management, that he just easily rotates strike through to the backward point or deep back point region.
End of the score, 44 for 2. Little chat going on, where should we have that fielder? Finally, that deep point fielder has come in when Bennett is on strike. So sooner or later, common sense prevails. And just almost. Didn't quite get hold of it. Maybe it's better for him. Had he got hold of it, probably would have played it straight to the fielder.
Plays it well in front of square. Yeah, you're right. If he gets a little bit more on that, he finds the fielder, doesn't he? But intentions from Bennett. Oh, Owen Chirombe. Morning, sir.
No!
Yeah, just a comparison here. Look at that, Jacques Kallis. 7,000 plus runs and 250 plus wickets. Look at that. But Jacques Kallis, man, the king. Ben Stokes, right up there with the very best. But you know what, in that 122 matches and the runs and the wickets, no one really shows you the replay of when he put his body through so much. Earlier this year, had a broken jaw, had to have reconstructive surgery or plastic surgery to repair that. The knees, the surgeries, and the back, the shoulder. Crossed my mind back to 2 innings of Ben Stokes, and we'll move on from this shortly. But the 100 in Perth, where I think they did a pitch report and a cell phone went through the crack at the pitch report, and then he's 250 against South Africa in Cape Town. And then the ultimate, that 4th innings run chase at Leeds in the Ashes. That's probably the one right up there. World Cup final as well. Some say the greatest ODI ever. Debatable. Think about it, the 436 place, 437 at the Wanderers. South Africa versus Australia. But for a final, I think, yeah, that was box office. Zimbabwe lead by 4.
Beautiful shot. Lovely drive from Bennett's bat. On the boundary here. His first. Total control. Doesn't lose shape. Nicely driven into the gap.
Yeah, he's a wonderful player, is Brian Bennett, and that is a superb shot. Just elegant. And the longer he bats, the longer he stays out there, yeah, Bangladesh will be in all sorts of trouble. Because the one thing about Brian Bennett is that he also can score quickly.
Comes in sharply. 148 for 2.
An early breakthrough, something that Bangladesh would have spoken about. Zimbabwe lead by 8 now. Still 8 first innings wickets in hand. Phil Simmons, he'll be happy with the manner in which the bowlers have gone this morning so far. That's his counterpart, Zimbabwean coach Justin Salmons. Nicely played, soft hands from Kaya, harmlessly through the gully area for 4.
Well, he started where he left yesterday. Yeah, maybe a little bit wide, but what he did was it really didn't push at it. So got an outside part of the bat, but it went down and into the gap. Well, so picks up another boundary, 150 on the board, 152 now.
Solid. Very good morning, Atar Ali Khan.
Good morning, Tino Moboyo. Good morning, all. Bangladesh fans will be hoping this can turn out to be a good morning for them. You know, they've managed to pick up a wicket. Early wicket always does a little bit of help. You know, they will still have to bowl well. I still feel this surface is pretty decent for batting, isn't it? Ball nicely coming onto the bat, but the problem starts when the ball starts to do some kind of lateral movement in the air and off the seam.
Big confusion, but realized early enough that he had made the wrong call, so no worries for Bennett getting back.
Still looks a good surface. You will have probably see maybe on day 3 or 4 a little bit more wear and tear, but still looks very good. Hasn't lost its shape. And you look at the day 1 surface and day 2, probably similar.
Indentations that we saw with the ball yesterday were hitting the wicket. The majority of those in a good length area. So that's evidence that the surface yesterday was slightly softer. And that'll just harden as the test match goes, but you don't necessarily get rid of those almost divots, can I call them that, by rolling the wicket. So that later in the test match is where you get a few balls that might just kick a little bit depending on which part of the divot it's hit. Maybe keep a little bit low or a bit of deviation, as you say. thought about too. But Brian Bennett, the glove not interested. So 155 for 2.
এটা একটু পেছনে দিই মাথায় থাকলো আর কি বাট যাই করতেছ ওটাই করবি
So both wickets to Khalid Ahmed. One late yesterday, one early this morning, that of Brendan Taylor. Zimbabwe's lead now 15. Sure, that'll be leg by signaled. It is. So just talking about those indentations that the ball put in the surface yesterday, and depending on how dry it is today, maybe get a couple more. Those will cause problems and get the ball to misbehave, in particular in the final innings of the test. So it's crucial for Zimbabwe to have that in the back of their mind and to try and get as big a first innings lead now as possible, because we've already seen Taijul early in the test match getting turned. He's so strong there, Brian Bennett. You don't want to give him any hint of width.
Well, at the moment, nothing happening for the seamers. We haven't seen any lateral movement, no swing, no seam. And if it starts to behave like that and you bowl on those line and lengths, then you'll be punished. Too wide. He's just come into bat. He's not going to miss out on these kind of opportunities. He still have to put it away. It's a good back foot shot played by Brian Bennett.
And he's a guy who plays with a lot of freedom. Minimal foot movement, but great hands. And wonderful hand-eye coordination. So, as you say, Brian Bennett is not going to, one, hold back or miss out really on those kind of deliveries if there's nothing in the surface for the bowlers. And that's his favorite area, whether it's front or back foot. Square of the wicket is where he gets the majority of his runs. Because of that previous stroke, they've got the backward square for him already, protecting that area.
You made a very valid point a little while earlier in terms of what kind of lead, but Zimbabwe will be looking at it, and also the fact that if Bangladesh make sure that Zimbabwe bat the second time around, which will be the fourth innings, then you talk about those indentations and the wear and tear of the surface, which might just be in favor of someone like Taijul Islam. He hasn't been in the attack. I thought he was the most impressive among the bowlers yesterday for Bangladesh. And again, no real movement. You see it even today. Just reflecting on day one, the first session. Perhaps it was just after the end of the first session when the ball started to do quite a lot, which happened in the second session, where Bangladesh loads of wickets in that session, 8 for 27. I'm just wondering whether the seam bowlers from Bangladesh are struggling in terms of the releases, in terms of the wrist position. We spoke about this in the pre-show, me, you and Ed Rainsford. We come back to that. 161 for 2.
is going over for 1 over. Okay. Chalo, Khaled.
Eight overs so far on the morning of day 2. The wicket of Brendan Taylor. And just 25 runs for Zimbabwe. He's been impressive, Khalid Ahmed, this morning. Even though he didn't get many wickets yesterday, he bowled well. There you go. He won't sit back, Brian Bennett.
Just going back to the discussion we had in the previous over, again a little bit wide. Could have nearly chopped it on to the stumps, hitting it on the up. A big stride in. The ball actually goes hits the front leg and then goes back. So I'm just thinking of what has gone wrong here, because the swing and the seam has gone missing from the seamers from Bangladesh. After maybe the 30th over, the ball started to do quite a lot for Zim seamers. Now this is the 43rd over. Still, don't see the ball doing too much here. Is that the fact that the pitch has started to play a little bit different? Does it really happens on day 2, when especially at this venue, where it starts to get a little bit flat and then it gets a little bit better for batting? Is that the case?
Well, you would expect Harare Sports Club every morning to have something in it, especially in the winter, and in particular a 9:30 start. It's not your normal 10 a.m. start that you get in your summer test matches in Zimbabwe. I'm wondering if it's got something to do with the ball. And maybe how the Bangladesh bowlers have looked after it. Because it was interesting listening this morning to the Zimbabwean seamer, Brad Evans. He spoke about how well they looked after the ball, the Zimbabwean fielding team, not just the bowlers. So I'm wondering if that may be the difference then between the two sides, and maybe why the ball is not swinging and didn't swing much yesterday for Bangladesh.
He's the one who's actually showed up. Once in a while, the ball does something in his favor. Again, the little bit of shape. Yes, it was a wide delivery. He's lucky he didn't get any part of the bat on that delivery. Yeah, there you go. You can see the shape going away. And even that dismissal that he picked up an early wicket, was close to the bat. So he's the one who's started to show that, yes, if you bowl in the good areas and also good wrist positions and the releases from high up there, you might extract something out of the surfer, but it has not happened on a consistent basis. That has been the problem for Bangladesh. The only wicket to fall so far is of Brendan Taylor. He was the bowler, Khalid Ahmed. Have a look at this delivery. Again, good shape. It moves away. What I'm thinking, if he can produce this kind of delivery, why it doesn't happen on a consistent basis?
The other point I wanted to bring up is, have the Bangladesh bowlers bowled full enough and consistently enough to allow the ball to move around? And I say that, I'll refer back to Zimbabwe yesterday. Ngaraba, the captain, Muzarabani, in their first spells, it was almost as if Zimbabwe made the wrong decision to bowl first, simply because they didn't bowl in the right areas. So that consistency is important. And we'll carry on with that conversation in the next over. 163 for 2. $163 for 2, Zimbabwe. Started the day on 136, so they've moved along quite nicely. The wicket to fall today, that of Brendan Taylor. It was a struggle for him at the crease. 54 balls it took for him to amass that 17. And it's Taijul Islam into the attack already. Those figures, 10.1 overs, 19 runs, don't show how well he bowled yesterday. He was consistent, got the ball to turn immediately when he came into the attack. He really was a handful for Brendan Taylor and Kaya to deal with late in the day yesterday.
He's been very impressive, the youngest of the 3 Kaya brothers to play first-class cricket in Zimbabwe. He's very good. Toiled hard in the domestic circuit for 8 years before getting a chance to play international cricket. And you mentioned about that last time there was on a tour that was against Bangladesh in the final, picked up 100. And he's been rock solid. And very impressive. Not easy conditions, especially when you talk about the conditions. It gets a little bit more difficult for the batters, not only to survive. Oh, inside edge. Maybe the bat. Just about maybe the bat.
It could only have been the bat. I think it's a little inside edge here for Brian Bennett. No turn on this one, goes straight on with the arm, and there you go. It's the inside edge that saved him. Some excitement already in Taijul Islam's first over. 164 for 2. Lead of 24 for Zimbabwe. Kaya approaching that 100 milestone in just his 3rd test match. Ibadat Hussain replaces Khalid Ahmed from the golf course end. Will he get some movement from the surface? Good start.
You're talking about good start. It was a good start for Taijul Islam today and even yesterday. 10 overs for none for 18. Sharp turn available on day one, which is a big surprise for me. And he could have held on to this. It would have been a different story. That's how it goes. Again, sharp turn and bounce. Now, that's one of the reasons why during that pre-show, if you remember, Tina Movayo, I did mention I would like to see him open the bowling. Maybe over from Khalid and then straight away from the other end. Tajul Islam. Again, couple of runs, easy runs. I also thought Khalid Ahmed bowled well. He's been taken off, but he was pretty impressive, picking up a wicket. He bowled just 5 overs out of about 2 a maiden. So 1 for 10 for his first spell this morning. He picked up the other wicket yesterday. Only 2 wickets, and both of them to Khalid Ahmed.
Just to finish up on the conversation we were having a couple of overs ago on maybe why Bangladesh bowlers haven't quite got the ball to move around. It was the same for the Zimbabwean bowlers in the morning of day 1 yesterday. But it was only when Ngarava and Muzaraban in particular came back later and had understood that they just need to get that ball up in a good area in terms of length that they managed to get the ball to move around. I think the most consistent was the young bowler who got a couple of wickets as well, Nyamuri. And I think the extra pace that Nyamuri had also did cause a couple of problems for the batters. And that was the difference. Here he is. He's worked very hard on his game as well. So it'll be interesting to see if Bardot, now who's been given a chance this morning, will be able to extract something from here.
Yeah, Nyamuri was the one who changed the game on its head, because Bangladesh were well placed at 113 for 2 when he picked up the wicket of all-important wicket of Momin ul Haq, ending up picking a 4-for.
He has smashed that. Has Brian Bennett. Strong on the pull shot. Convincing stroke.
This is his first over. It's too short and too easy for him. And usually you'd see a short ball being pulled away towards the square leg area. That's gone on top of between mid wicket and mid on. He gets so much time. Not the right length. 171 for 2.
And that's how the partnership went for Bangladesh. And it was one of 30 between Shadman and Mominul, and then the captain and Mominul 77. But after that was broken just after the lunch break, and the Bangladesh batters capitulated.
Well, the seamers have done not a lot, but all eyes will be on Tajul Islam. He's been impressive. He's played that fine, and he should pick up a boundary, and he does.
That's well played. Particularly because he hasn't tried to go square. He's gone fine, so he gets the gap in the field and gets 4. And he's 3 away. Is Innocent Kaya.
You're wrong line. Just when you're thinking that he's tightening the screws, and he goes down the leg side and he releases the boundary. That's where he needs to bowl. Over and over again. We've spoken about quite a lot about consistency. And if he can bowl in that area on a consistent basis, surely, sooner than later, I'll be able to pick up a wicket. The question is, can he bowl? Yeah, I would also like to see Shanto go a little bit proactive, because he is batting on 97 and the fielder is still at long off, and that's an easy single. With that single, he moves on to 98. No real pressure.
Good run. Good early call from Bennett, and well responded by his partner Kahia.
Straight away, the call was very quick indeed, because it was just to the right of Hassan Mahmood, fielding at mid-on. Back on strike.
Nice.
177 for 2. Curran looked good for his 42 yesterday, until he just fended one off into the cordon with the man who's been outstanding for Zimbabwe, Innocent Kahia. Couple away from a maiden test match 100.
No.
Into now, come back into the test side, should I say, move to number 4. And I think that's a good call from the Zimbabwean change. Allows him just to play with a little bit more freedom, and would hope that the ball's a little bit older when he walks out to bat. Should be able to squeeze a couple in here. They'll think about 3. There's an opportunity to do so. Good run from both of these batters. More importantly, it gets Innocent Kahia on strike. 98 not out. And an opportunity to record his first test match century. They've kept backward square on the offside boundary. That takes him to 99.
Now, what a great feeling would that be for Kahia. What about Brian Bennett? Remember the last time Zimbabwe toured in the test match against Bangladesh, when they were over there? Back-to-back 50s as an opener, and the result went in their favor. They went on to win that particular test match. There you go. You got sub strike, and Kahia is on 99.
Not out. Mushfiqur Rahim comes in from deep square to square leg to save the single. So does backward point on the boundary into a point position. Ibadat Hussain to Innocent Kahia, 99. What a beauty. The umpire says no ball on bat.
What a delivery. They think there was a bit of a bat. What matters the most is what the umpire thinks. That is a pitch. That is a beautiful delivery. The keeper, Hamid Hassan, reacted straight away. He remains on 99.
Well, he couldn't have bowled a better delivery to a batter who's on 99, Ibadat Hussain. There you go. What a wonderful way to record your first Test match 100. Against all the odds, through all the diversity in the last couple of seasons, Harare Sports Club take a bow. Innocent Kahia gets himself 100. 103 not out. And what an outstanding innings from a man who's got a great future in Zimbabwean cricket. 186 for 2. It's time for a drink.
Zimbabwe going great guns. At the moment, they are 46 in lead. But more than that, it's Innocent Kahia on his maiden Test match 100. What an innings it has been, and he's shown real talent. He's shown a lot of focus. Great with that new ball yesterday. Again, this testing first hour today. And you bowl a shorter length to him. He's so strong with that pull shot. His eyes lit up. Well played, man. What an innings.
I've loved the way that he's just held it together for Zimbabwe as they got across the 140 that Bangladesh made in their first innings. Full bowlers used today, Mahmood was actually the one who caused problems early on. Well, it was Khaled who picked up his second wicket this morning. Zimbabwe lead by 46, built on the 103 not out by Innocent Kaya. Brian Bennett, new man in, looking good at 20 from just 24.
Just giving it a charge and a boundary. Neil Shorley would like to now call the shots. The good thing for Zimbabwe is that you got an attacking batter as his partner. Bennett will seek any opportunity to score and keep that pressure on from his side.
Takes the lead to 50 with that strike through extra cover. I think it's an awareness that there's a length that Taijul Islam, if he can land it consistently in that area, this area is going to cause problems.
You go back to that boundary from Bennett. Don't say that it's an aggressive approach. It's very calculated, coming down the track, covering the line of the ball. And use of feet against spin always works. Just met the ball early. Here you go. Just a little bit of extra flight, and that allowed him to just come out of his crease and play it along with the spin. Good shot. Good calculated risk, if you want to call it. We've seen that from last evening as well. He likes to play off the back foot, and he's done well for himself playing Taijul in that manner. It's just that sometimes the ball keeps a bit low. Be a little careful on that. But a test match 100, Darlington, that's something he'll remember for a long time. That's his maiden test match 100.
Can't remember a boring minute within that innings. He's kept us entertained throughout. Pull shots early on against the Quicks when he first arrived at the crease. That crunching back foot drive square of the wicket through the offside. And solid defense. 191 for 2.
They're getting there in terms of run rate. They were very good, 4.5, 5 yesterday. They did slow down in the last half an hour or so, just trying to make sure they don't lose any wicket before the end of the day's play. Their overall run rate is also pretty much the same, 3.98. So it's just creeping up, back to 4, maybe 4.5. Also not doing well. He's almost a run a ball, 25 of 26. Yeah, coming back to Innocent Kaya's 100, you talked about not a dull moment in that knock. It's so smart, you know, when it's least expected out of you. Nobody's expecting you got your best to 67 before this. And it's not like that you are that superstar player that the opposition is looking at to attack. Just go about within your zone, within your capability, your skill, backing yourself, and making sure that you spring a surprise in front of the opposition. And he did that with the way he was scoring runs at a very healthy rate.
Another partnership, another 50 partnership that Innocent Kaya is involved in, this time with Brian Bennett, who's 26 from 27. and has come off just 61 deliveries. Just after tea yesterday afternoon, he came in and he got into his business immediately. Pull shots, and my favorite area of scoring is square of the wicket on the leg side, and he's got shots all around the ground as Innocent Kayama, and that deft late cut and power down the ground as well, and that's the moment that brings up his first Test match 100. High scores was first Test match 100, 104 not out against Bangladesh, 67 was his previous best against the West Indies. Had a good series, just got a few starts and that not able to convert them. This time he manages to do just that.
I'm thinking, what can Shanto do different? You know that the wickets are very hard to get by, so maybe a couple of field positions, someone in the eye line of the batter, just to play around with their concentration levels. Also approaching the lunch break, so the batters do think they want to play the session out.
I've seen in domestic cricket how teams deal with Brian Bennett, always have catches at extra cover, hits in the air there occasionally, so I think that's a good call you've made there, Sikandar.
And the shot does tell you that he won't shy away. 195 for 2. I don't think there has been a session that has gone to Bangladesh. The first one, 76 for 2, you'd probably say shared a little bit. But then after that, Zimbabwe hasn't looked back.
But Delhi had wanted to use the moisture that's always available at Harare Sports Club early on. 9:30 start, would have usually wanted to pick up maybe 2 or 3 wickets with that. Only managed the 1 so far.
Now that's what can happen to you when you go on that back foot against Taijul Islam. There will be a delivery or two that'll be keep touch low, and you might not find yourself covering the line properly.
It's been his preferred positioning, isn't it? This time he's allowed her to go past the outside edge.
Bangladesh have put themselves in a situation where they're testing their own players' ability. We spoke about how they've got their frontline bowlers, got their tail up, Taskeen, Nahid Rana, left them behind in this one-off test. They've given Khalid and Ibadat and others the opportunity here. And you can't say that they bowled badly or anything. It's just a very special knock from Khaia. And a very responsible small knocks coming in from Bennett and then earlier from Taylor. And Karan, not to forget. Down the wicket and just past that fielder. 200 comes up for Zimbabwe with that shot. They batted 50 overs to get to. $200 for 2. With 200 runs on the board, and they batted for 50 overs. And did really well to almost get rid of that first innings lead yesterday itself.
Continue to take quick singles. And Bennett, I think, just a boundary from the last delivery of that Tajul Islam over. Didn't find the middle of the bat. Again, he uses the feet. Just closed the face on contact. Must have had his heart in his mouth for a moment. But clears mid-on eventually.
I don't think Tajul would mind that. He would want him to go after him. That would create an opportunity. It did almost.
The partnership now is 58 from 73 deliveries. And Bennett got into his work immediately. Some glorious shots through the offside. Here as well. And off the back foot, very strong. Two good pullers of a cricket ball. Khaia using the sweep to good effect. That brought up the 100 for Khaia, and Bennett's not been shy to use his feet against Tajul Islam.
Darlington, what's also been good is that the Zimbabwe support staff, the coaches have also allowed these batters to express themselves. There's not too much information coming from outside gloves or anything. When they're approaching landmarks, Khaia getting to his 100 or Brian trying to attack the bowlers. They're just letting them be because they feel that it's best for Zimbabwe if we allow them to play to their strengths. You can easily get excited when you get in a good position. And you start having opinions and you want to share them, but I think it's been very, very systematic. Just let the batting and then the ability of anyone coming out there take the team forward.
You're absolutely right. They've displayed trust in the players, the young players in particular. From Inyamuri, Bennett's young, just 21. And Innocent Khaia, older, but just in his 4th test match.
No run.
Next man in, Craig Irvin, the oldest player in the team. And he knows he's got a very important role to play later on, hopefully later on, as Zimbabwe need to get a good first innings lead. Tafadzwa Tsiga's got 500s in Logan Cup this season. is in really, really good touch, yet to get a test match 50. And then Wesley Madivere at 7.
Yeah, the man in the deep cannot do anything about that. He'll go race past him for a boundary. That was timed brilliantly by Bennett. 205 for 2. It's all about partnerships, no matter what format you're playing, and they've done very well. 89, 54, 62 and counting. Yeah, good call there. That just frustrates the fielding captain. Got so many men around the bat, you still end up conceding a single.
Such a good shot. Look how he stands up and gets over this delivery and absolutely crunches it away square of the wicket. It's the third time we've seen him score in that area.
Yeah, there'll be more runs, at least a couple. You know, what's worrying for Shanto is the way the scoring is just increasing in terms of run rate. Now it's gone to 4.05. They started off at 3.5 on when the day began. So even when they got that wicket of Brendan Taylor, they've not been able to stem the run flow. You probably expect a new batter is coming in, and you'll try and attack him more and feel that, you know, let him consume a lot of deliveries. Slightly uppish, but Bennett hasn't allowed that.
It just looks like he's in very good form, very confident, very comfortable with his game at the moment. 39 from 42.
Number 3, DJ.
It's been really harsh on Taijul Islam in particular. This time in the air, but it's safely into a gap.
Tajul bhai.
They put on 75 runs today, Zimbabwe, and they've lost 1 wicket in the process.
Save it.
And end of another over. 211 for 2.
$211 for 2 is a strong position. Zimbabwe lead by 71.
Don't think that Zimbabwe is actually discussing how many would be enough. Got 8 wickets in hand and plenty of time in this test match, and you probably look to bat the opposition out. And they can afford to think in that fashion because of the number of wickets they've got available and 2 set batters. So don't think that they are having a target or a total somewhere. Yeah, had it been a day ahead into day 3, then probably they'll start thinking that they need to allow their bowlers enough time also.
to get the opposition.
Yeah, probably just thinking of batting through today with no real targets in mind. Might just have an idea of thinking maybe they want to be pushing it at around 3.5, maybe 4 runs and over, maybe even more. But I don't think they'd really have a number in mind to say we want to be at, say, 450 to the end of the second session of play.
The only thing that they will keep in mind is to have enough runs in this first innings of theirs, because they need to bat last.
Yeah, just probably going down the leg side from Ibadat Hussain this time. But I think you're right, they wouldn't want to have to chase a really big score at all in that fourth innings. You want to make all your runs in this first innings.
Yeah, he's so good with that. He loves playing that shot. Maybe it's gone a lot finer than he would have liked, but he's got himself a boundary there.
He really waits for it, lets it come on to him. And it's almost gone past and behind him before he actually makes contact with it. And so turns it into a very, very safe option. Every time you're just outside the line of the off stump.
Right enough.
10.5 overs for 67 in helpful conditions. Ibadat Hussain has been a little expensive here. Lahore Sports Club.